Do you want to start now?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I'd like to.
Okay,
Do you have permission to start now?
Yes, number one.
Permission to start, Captain.
Why, yes, number one, of course. You may go ahead as you please.
Oh boy. Alright, everyone. Welcome back to Silent Ponyville 2. We seem to be a little more awake than we were last time, which is always a plus, I'd say. My good sir.
Always a good plus.
On the flop side, I meant to say either flip or flop side. I came out with
You meant to say flip.
On the flip side, there is a strong wind outside my window, which is making my glass window vibrate a little bit and emitting obnoxious sounds, and they will probably, with my luck, be captured in our recording. So there's that obnoxious detail in the background.
Which we hopefully won't hear.
We will. I mean, I will, because I'm the one who edited the audio for these things. Ish. Anyway, on to chapter 3. Last time we left Fluttershy, she was pretty banged up and beat up by a metaphorical representation of abuse.
Yes, which is a mannequin with no head and cloth.
Yes. Already my throat is parched and my mouth is dry, and I haven't even started yet. I must be dreading this.
Nerves, you see.
Right, so, chapter 3.
Which has no title. These chapters have no title, by the way.
Oh, the endings do, though. So, Clusterfry snapped awake when a loud explosion rocked the house. We start off with a bang here, literally.
Yeah, literally a bang. Was Vinyl scratching this?
Anyway, again, she's not.
Oh, good.
A vase that had been placed next to the coach came crashing to the ground. Hey there, coach. How are you doing today, coach? I know. On the couch, came crashing to the ground, shattering into pieces.
What was that?
She asked, moving quickly to get off the couch. Couch. She instantly regretted the first movement.
I wish I didn't have to get off the couch. It was so comfortable.
Twisting her body in a way he didn't approve. I do not approve of your twisting this. The 5 people inside my head are not approving of this.
Yes, we do not appreciate this plot twist in your body.
Right now, anger is very angry at you, and fear is very afraid of everything that's going on, and joy is surprisingly being quiet so far. But there's a lot of sadness going on. I love Inside Out. His body didn't approve as her chest roared at her in pain. She collapsed on the floor, panting as her chest throbbed. Do not do sound effects, Devar, I swear to God.
I'm not doing it.
You were thinking of.
No, I wasn't. I did not know what to do for a chest rubbing.
Batum, batum, batum.
Nah.
For the moment... Can I continue, please?
Yes, you can.
For the moment, she had forgotten about her injuries. She groaned as she carefully sat up, making sure not to offend her wound. Not to offend her wound. George, I called my wound George. George, are you offended by my behavior? Not quite. She inspected her dressing carefully. I should have worn pink. Her injuries hadn't bled any more than expected during her sleep, and the recovery was about where she would have expected it for a bit of sleep. I'm not sure about this last sentence, but okay. She carefully got to her hoops and took a few steps. She then stretched her wings before wincing slightly and shutting them back closed. She could move, she could walk, she could fly with a bit of pain, but she still was not about to go flying around.
I was about to make a Shawn Michaels reference, but then I realized how inappropriate that was.
Why?
They hear me walk, they hear me talk. Sort of deal.
Okay.
How long was I asleep?
What are you asking me for? I don't know. So Sleep Spy asked aloud. She hadn't meant to fall asleep. Her body had done it almost on its own, as if on instinct.
I got separated from Rainbow Dash and Pinkie Pie. I should have been looking for them, not sleeping.
Traitor flies felt awful for having left their friends alone, even though it was against their will. They were probably worried about her. They must have gone to look for her.
Oh, I hope you two are all right.
Meanwhile, at the Tower of Doom, Rainbow Dash was strapped into a rack. And this was all taking place in the evil tower of Saruman for some reason. And once again, a much more interesting fanfiction. Okay, we had to become more creative with these continuous cutaways. Okay, so Critterfly asked aloud.
I wonder how long you can do this for.
Oh, as long as I can.
By the way,
okay, so
Fluttershy tried not to.
Yes, I was about to read the previous paragraph. Go me. So, Butterfly, try not to let her worries hold her back. Before moving to the front door of her house, she was in. I phrased that weirdly, but okay. The door was locked. She stared at the door in shock at the sight she'd seen. Again, previously. The door was locked from the inside. Oh my... Okay, saying locked too many times again.
And door.
Above the handle to the door. There you go. There was a doll-shaped symbol hovering over the lock. Oh gee, I wonder if she has to find a key for it.
Oh yeah, it says we gotta do our key quotas.
Why is the door locked?
I don't know. What are you asking me for?
Because the door is locked.
Okay, but who's on first?
You ask a silly question, Fluttershy, you get a silly answer.
Carnegie Hallfly frowned, staring at the door. She had to get back outside and see what was going on. She turned back around to look at the house in closer detail. It was a small, quaint little house, but it didn't look like a house that would normally be built in Ponyville. It looked like a house that was not in Ponyville, in some city that was not Ponyville, but it was still a house that was not in Ponyville. It's a house.
Yeah, because it's not Ponyville.
It's a freaking house!
It's not in Ponyville because it's in Silent Ponyville.
Oh snap. She hadn't noticed till just now, but the building material was the kind you would find in a cloud city. Material that was made specifically for sitting on clouds. What is that doing here?
Yeah.
Huh?
Oh.
This is a cloud house.
This is Cloud Cuckoo Land.
Cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo.
Okay. Butter all over my body, Fly looked around baffled.
But the only cloud house in Ponyville is Rainbow Dash's house.
Fluttershy, sorry, I meant to say, flabbergasted Fly was confused.
Yeah,
she didn't know whose house this was, as it certainly wasn't Rainbow Dash's. She looked at the vase that lay broken on the floor, noticing something unusual about one of the broken pieces. Getting closer, she could see that it wasn't really a piece of the vase at all, but something that must have been inside of the vase when it broke. Convenient.
Yeah.
She carefully picked it up, examining the item. I can see opening the menu and the object, over the object,
and then spinning it around.
Examine it. No, that's King's Quest 7. This is Silent Hill.
Oh, so they didn't do that either.
It was a while. It
was a wild coin.
It was a while ago since I saw a coin for the first time. It was a white coin with the shape of a cloud on it, with tiny writing engraved on the edges that read, "The Floating Cloud."
What is that?
Clever.
Is that a pub?
Wow, that's a clever name for a house made of clouds. It's a cloud, which means it floats. Genius.
Yes, but mind you, like I said, it sounds like a pub name.
Sounds like a nightclub to me.
Oh no, we would have nightclubs we call stuff like Quest and and drink with an exclamation mark. I mean, exclamation mark, not explanation.
Okay, this explains the missing steeds. She had never been one to take things from other ponies, but something told her that she was supposed to take this with her.
Plot
It was
device.
It's called a plot. Maybe it was Pinky's words about what was going on this place. Maybe it was a gut instinct. Or maybe it was just something about the coin looking valuable. Or maybe, you know, whomever is playing this game is controlling you and telling you to pick up the coin. Also that.
Yeah, can you imagine a video game character who's all like, I'm not gonna pick that up, it could belong to someone. Pick it up!
Well, that's been done several times, actually.
Oh gosh.
She carefully placed the coin in her bag before looking back at the house. Her eyes drew to movements she hadn't noticed before. Outside of a door in a hallway in the house. We're still in the house! Yes!
Yes.
Yes! We haven't moved from the house! I know we're still in the house! Thank you for that. There were several moths flying outside the door. This seemed odd to her. The moths seemed to have no reason to be gathering by the door, unless perhaps there was some kind of food behind the door they couldn't reach. She walked up to the door and carefully pushed it open. The door gave way, opening up to what appeared to be someone's study. The moths didn't seem to move still, confusing her, but she slowly entered the study regardless. The walls were lined with books of various subjects. She could recognize several different topics. Most of them were about cloud building. Some were poetry books. Oh, we found Maud's rock poetry books. Rock, you are a rock. Rock is my life. Rock is love. Rock is life. Rock. The poetry books were, while others looked like business books. They all shared the same markings, though. They were books from Cloudsdale. Did we mention that they are books? I don't think we mentioned that they are books too many times already.
Did we not mention that the door so many times before? Maybe we should mention the door again.
Okay. I don't recall the first story to have this many repetitions.
No, I don't.
Maybe
I don't remember it either.
It had some repetition, but never this bad. It seems to me that the author has forgotten what synonyms are. Am I right, folks? Oh, boy. Wait, what's a synonym for synonym?
Synonym?
Yeah, that's a good question. Alright, so redundant Shy slowly walked up to the desk and she read what was on the open page. Curiosity got the best of her, and she read what was on the open page. Patient has shown symptoms of a weakened immune system. The case continues to grow more baffling as this now discredits all prior diagnosis of what was wrong. Every step forward causes 2 steps back. I have to start going through new tests to determine the cause of her illness. The cause of her illness is. I don't have much time though. Her heart is growing weaker. The muscles are growing thinner the more time passes. I fear it'll rupture before too long. I'll have to start her on another set of medication. She won't like being on any more drugs, but we have to prolong this for as long as we can. Commentary. June 23, 983. Medical case number 1156, entry 14, Dr. R.K. Mandius.
Mandius? That sounds a bit, Mananan styles of evil.
Mananans, or it could be actually the doing of our worst nemesis, Conanan. Conanan is our worst enemy yet. So anyway, in case you didn't notice, folks, we are in the hospital. Just like that. Just like that, we are in the hospital. Right. And it's a Cloudsdale hospital.
Yes.
Interestingly enough.
Yes, very interesting.
It was a book recording medical cases through the years. The book was open to one of the last entries in the book. The book was open to one of the last entries in the book.
What is the author? Did you know you could use something new and radical? It's called It.
Yes, it's totally radical. The use of it. Recording the case of an unknown disease that had sprouted.
Are you sure you're not tired again?
No, but I am at a considerable distance from my computer because I have the microphone in between me and it.
Oh.
So, yeah. So, the book was open to one of the last entries in the book. That was worth rereading. So, according to the case of an unknown disease that had sprouted up before the turn of the millennium. Is it the millennium bug? It seemed the book went... The bloody book went on to explain more about it in other entries.
What, the book went explain about other books and other book entries?
Bookception. One.
Yes, and now the book and the door shall elope, to be mentioning each other's names constantly.
Oh gosh, this story, so far it's far worse than I remember it. Hopefully it will pick up anytime soon.
Yes, I hope so too.
Huh?
Father Shy looked at one of their pages. It was intended as if something was lying underneath the page. She lifted the page. God damn it! God damn it! Pages, books, doors.
Okay, so the door in the book eloped and had a child called Paige.
You know, this story has far less grammatical mistakes than the previous one, but as a trade-off, we get far more repetitions. She lifted it up to look, seeing a small brown coin with the shape of a house on it. Written in tiny text on the coin were the words, "The Old Home."
Ooh.
She carefully picked the coin up, placing it in her bag.
Gotta get into that pub.
Actually, it sounds like a old people retirement house.
Yeah, that too, but I was
the old home sounds like a place for old people.
I was making a terrible joke though.
A nightclub for old people.
Yeah, the raving and
that's definitely not the old people's jam, let me tell you. She was curious, though, as to why the book was open to the particular page. Book! Page! Page! Book! Ugh. Why the coin had been hiding just underneath it. She had always seen a lot of medical books around the house, and she'd read a lot of them. It's how she'd become so good at tending to the sick and injured. Just as long as they're animals.
Yeah.
Next to the book, she noticed something that looked like a long piece of thick string. It was curled up to the desk in a coil, as if waiting for someone to use it.
Gotta take that string. Okay, the real thing she says is,
"Oh, hey, I think I can use this."
Opportunist Shy thought as a light bulb felt like it had turned on in her head. Ding! You should probably get that one checked out. She carefully reached into her bag and pulled out the lantern. This is the moment in which Father Shy's brilliant moment of brilliance has a moment to be brilliant, filled with brilliance. Get it? I'm using repetitions against it. Wait, no, I should say I'm using repetitions against the repetition of the repetitions.
We gotta fight repetitions with repetitions.
Right. Her jaw still ached a little from biting down on it, but it certainly didn't hurt as badly now. She placed the lantern down on the desk before taking the string and looping it through the handle. She carefully tied the string into a knot. With it now looping onto itself, she had a makeshift necklace. She carefully placed the necklace around the neck, testing the string. It seemed to be supporting the weight of the lantern just fine. The lantern hung... Lantern, 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 lantern,
lantern, lantern, lantern.
Lantern hung just in front of her chest, comfortably. See, this is what I was talking about in the previous chapter.
Yeah, I see now.
See how easily Fluttershy finds a solution to better transport the object that produces light, which I will not name.
Yeah.
It makes Pinkie Pie look like a doofus in the previous story. I'm not okay with that.
Yeah, well then again, she couldn't MacGyver up some string now, could she, Pinkie?
She could have taken a string from her tail or something.
Yeah, true, hair is supposed to be stronger than most.
Anyway, what was I?
She carefully turned.
Oh my gosh. Okay, this paragraph begins with the same two words from the previous paragraph, as in she carefully. She carefully this and she carefully that. Is it even worth it at this point for me to keep pointing out all the repetition and redundant?
Maybe not. Maybe we should just continue.
No, it feels like that if I don't point them out, I'm going to hell. It feels like that. This goes against everything I know about proofreading and editing and reading in general.
And novels.
I do translations and proofreading, you know? So this really offends me on a personal level. Anyway, she carefully turned the switch to test out how
hot?
For a second... Okay, this is what I'm talking about. For a second I thought I jumped a paragraph or I went back a paragraph, because they begin the same way. I can't do this. Anyway, she turned the switch to test out how the object that emits light would get. The flame coming to life. She let it sit on her chest for a moment, then walked around slowly, then jumped around as best she could. You could say with all her might, without making her injuries scream at her. The flame danced to her movement, but never made the lantern too hot. It felt warm against her coat. The object that emits light hanging before her gave her good lighting in front of her. Though she
it's not gonna, give perfect lighting behind her now, is it?
oh gosh, this is the most difficult. Are you okay there?
I'm fine, just my throat for some reason had a bit of a tickle.
Yes, yeah, too many lanterns stuck down your throat.
Yes.
Then jumped around as best she could without... Oh gosh, I was reading the... Okay.
No, she'd.
Alright, so where was I? Jesus.
No, she'd.
It's not easy reading this.
I know it's not.
The lantern hanging before her gave... This is so stupid. Though she'd have to turn around if she wanted to see something that was behind her. On another news, this is how you breathe. Inspire, expire.
Oh, Fluttershy, you're so smart.
Oh, she's talking to herself again.
She's going crazy.
She's going Josh from Until Dawn. Oh man. She chuckled softly at her own ingenious... No. You meant to say ingenuity. Ingenious is not a name. Ingenious is an adjective. You know? Just saying. She turned the lantern... Oh, God.
How many times would she turn this lantern?
How many times? Seriously, for the moment. Since the house had plenty of light for her to see, but now she could still have light and not hurt her jaw any more than she had to. We've been going into circles for the past few sentences.
This is not good.
Nothing else seemed out of the ordinary, though. It was just an average study. She turned around and headed out of the room, leaving the rest of it as it was. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
She looked at the moths that still circled outside the study. She was still confused at their flight pattern. Her study of moths showed that they usually preferred to travel following... let me reread this.
Alright.
Her study of moths showed that they usually prefer to travel following some source of light or near sources of nectar. Nailed it. This particular moth just seemed fascinated with circling around the air before the door. She pushed the thoughts out of her mind for the moment, seeing that in front of her was now an open doorway into the kitchen. She curiously stepped into it, looking at the small but quaint kitchen. Not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. She could smell something sweet, turning her head to look at the table, seeing a pie simply sitting on it.
That's no pie. That's Pinkie Pie.
I know you were going to say that, and I am groaning inwardly for that.
Who left the pie here?
Who left the pie here? Who? Who
left the pie?
You shouldn't say, okay, pie. Now I'm going to open and close my mouth like this. And while walking towards you, and if you happen to get eaten, that's all your fault.
Oh, the pie knew what was coming.
So, Oscar Pie asked curiously, walking up and looking at the pie. It smelled like an apple pie.
I thought I was going to say, it smelled like a pie.
Might as well. Though there was a particular extra scent to it.
Actually, it says thought there was a particular extra scent.
What did I say instead?
Though.
Might as well. Thought there was a particular extra scent to it, as if a special ingredient had been added to its making. It's meat, isn't it? This is that moment from Don't Hug Me I'm Scared, isn't it?
Keep reading.
The
scent.
Okay. I think I lost it. Oh.
The scent reminded her.
Oh, the scent reminded her of her mother. She killed her mother and she cooked her and baked her into a pie! Mystery solved. Good night, everybody.
Yes.
And credits. Dun, 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 dun.
Congratulations, Madhog. You have now got the key to the city for solving a horrendous murder.
Actually, no. But it would have been delightfully dark.
Yes.
Let's go with it. There was someone she hadn't thought about in a long time. Besides the dreams, she hadn't thought about her mother in a long time. She felt guilty about that. Her mother had died of a disease when she was young. Oh yes, the non-specific titled disease that kills the mothers. That's specifically designed to kill mothers.
It's the Walt Disney disease.
Leaving her and her father to fend for themselves.
Mother.
Father?
Hello, mother. Hello, father. Here I am in Camp Shinada.
Cliché Fly quietly murmured, trying to remember her mother fondly. Images of the pink-haired mare flashed through her mind briefly, though for some reason they all felt hazy, as if she couldn't focus in on the very memories she had of her maternal figure. Let's go with that. I refuse to repeat mother for the 16 millionth time. If she tried to concentrate harder on a memory she remembered liking, it seemed to just haze out even more. Shatner pose for no particular reason.
You just Shatnered this up.
Fluttershy rubbed her head in confusion. She'd never had trouble thinking about her mother before. What was different now? Was it a side effect of Twilight's spell? Was it plot convenience?
Yes, let's go with that.
What are you asking me for? I don't know. It was the only thing that made sense to her.
Or was it the author's intention to make you question these things just so that it makes you feel like you're part of the story and the mystery?
Well, this is all written like an actual Silent Hill playthrough, if you noticed.
Yes, I have.
The way you come across items and puzzles.
Yeah, I know.
She looked at the pie longingly.
Oh,
Can you
Pie, soon me and you shall go together.
Can you believe I gave a positive review to this story in my old fanfiction R&R episode?
Yes.
Oh my. I was really, I must have been really taken aback by this at first. She looked at the pie longingly, but though it smelled good, she couldn't bring herself to try it. Something just didn't seem right to her about it being there. She saw, which is, reversed was, basically, so it's not entirely correct. She jigsaw She saw something glint next to it, though, drawing her attention. Next to the pie was a gold coin. Oh my gosh, could you possibly be more transparent about your obviously coin-related puzzle later on?
Yes, it's obvious coin puzzle obvious.
I am not paid enough for this.
Says you.
I'm not paid at all, so for that matter. Next to the pie was a gold coin with what looked... You're missing a like here. What looked like a young mare on it. In tiny writing, the words, "The Trapped Mare," was written.
Oh, come on! This is...
Okay, I know they all seem like names for nightclubs, but...
No, I mean is this particular one, I mean, all these is like so transparent what's going on here.
Then again, it's like a Silent Hill playthrough with ponies. That's kind of the point. I can get behind that. What I can't get behind is all the bloody repetitions. She instinctually added it to her bag alongside the others. She still wasn't sure what possessed her to collect them. Gotta catch them all, I guess.
Yes, must collect them. Must complete the collection. Yes.
She turned from the table and walked out of the kitchen. The house seemed small. She was already outside the last door she hadn't checked yet. She carefully pushed the door open, peering inside. It was a bedroom. Not a bedroom.
Anything but that.
I could use a bedroom right now. Though she could only tell that from there being a bed. It's a bed, okay? It's nothing else but a bed. A bed pressed up the wall. The only other furniture in the room was a drawer with a glass case on it, and on the front of it appeared to be indentations. Oh, a new word.
Ooh. Being adventurous, I see, Arthur.
Yes, I know. Window shy carefully walked up to the desk, getting a better look at it. The indentations were in the shape of coins, with 5 volts. Oh, come on! On the glass case, she could see a note that had been taped down. Taped down, okay? Only 3 of 5 exists in this world. In the morning. Pardon me. I usually sleep during mornings. In the morning, noon and night, the quiet wind blows through the world, giving the world in its shape. This is reminding me of those nasty, obnoxious poems from the spellcasting mechanics in King's Quest III.
Oh, yeah.
When the sun beats down, it brings its heat. Cold and water disappear into the sky, awaiting for those to arrive so that a home can be built. The world awaits, sitting quietly and empty. It doesn't take long. They arrive as they build what was once empty, if now filled.
I think you mean to say is now filled.
I'm sure the story meant to say that.
Yes, I'm sure of it as well.
But though it is filled, it is not filled with joy or fun. Instead, there is a quiet, unspoken misery.
Oh, gee.
Wait a second, that does not rhyme.
No, it doesn't.
Whatever. Emo Shy read the note twice, thinking about what the note was saying. God damn it.
Yeah, she was thinking, God damn it.
Hey, look, it's a note. Let's repeat it again. It's a note. It is such an amazing note, this note is.
It's a
The
note full of
drawer had
notiness.
5 spots to fill with coins, and she had brought 3 with her. Her instincts had yielded results, but now she just had to figure out what this meant. It's a puzzle.
A very blatant puzzle.
She reached into her bag and pulled out the 3 coins, looking at each and its shape carefully.
Okay. When water is evaporated by the heat of the sun, it becomes vapor.
Imagining Fluttershy now wearing a scientist's coat. Looks really cool on her right now.
Now she has to wear the stereotypical academic hat, you know? The one that's basically a flat square with a cylinder attached to it.
Yeah, the graduate's hat, I think.
What's the deal with that hat? I don't get it.
I don't either.
Okay, which the vapor...
No, don't drool. And I drooled some reason. I don't know why.
Careful, the bar. We're turning into Rick. Okay, Rick. You need to read this, Rick. Okay, Rick. You're gonna read this.
Okay.
becomes vapor, which the vapor then turns into clouds.
Okay.
Thank you, Fluttershy Sensei. Okay. Here's what I don't buy. How come Pinkie Pie and Fluttershy suddenly become good at puzzle solving? Since when were they good at this? That doesn't really...
Point and click adventure logic. Even though if someone's dumb as a doorpost or can't read a book, they can solve the most hardest of puzzles.
You mean I had to solve them for them?
Yeah.
Fluttershy surmised that she carefully put the floating cloud in the second spot, figuring the first slot must be empty, similar to the effect of wind.
Next, they build a home in the empty quiet.
Shusherfly thought, leaving the spot next to the floating cloud empty and placing the old home in the slot.
Then that just leaves this coin in the slot.
She placed the trapped mare in the final slot. The desk let out a loud click, confirming she had done everything correctly. The glass case on the drawer swung open slowly, revealing a small lever inside of it. "Pull the lever, Kronk!" "The other lever!" Furious, Fluttershy carefully placed the roof, nailed it on the switch, and flipped it. Her ears perked up as she heard the sound of something moving. She turned her head and saw the door-shaped hole had opened in the wall that wasn't there before. Inside was a dimmed staircase that led down into what looked like a freaking basement!
Wow. We've come from a basement into another basement.
Fluttershy looked cautiously down the staircase. It was dark. She couldn't see past a few feet down them. Her music box was still silent, so she assumed there was no trouble just yet. She turned the light on her lantern on and began to make her way down. Okay. Something intense better be happening soon.
Or else Madhog's sleeping on the job.
Yes. The walls seemed to be damp as she walked farther down into the darkness. There was the faint smell of wet mildew. Why wet mildew? That emanated from the darkness. Did we mention we are in the darkness yet? It's dark, alright?
Maybe you want to add in that we're in the Legend of Grimrock right now.
Sure, why not? But she continued to walk further down. She wasn't sure what would be waiting for her, but the area had been hidden, so her instincts told her something was waiting at the bottom. The stairs flattened out. Pardon. It's contagious, I know. Before opening up into a wide-open basement, Fluttershy looked around, taking in the sight of the grey moldy walls.
I thought you were about to say gradient walls.
I said grady.
Grody, man.
I could use some gravy. She could hear the sound of dripping water, spotting droplets dripping down the walls and the ceiling. The floor had small puddles of water from... Oh, it's puddles of water. I thought it was puddles of piss! Like I am right now.
Because you're pissed.
No, duh. Puddles of water from where the water collected. And we're missing a Steve here. Her eyes wandered the rest of the room before noticing something in the corner. It was a small pony doll, worn and torn from years gone by. Covered in stitches and rotted with age.
Oh, it's a doll.
I had to apologize for all the yawning, but you have to realize, guys, that we are recording all of these things at 2 a.m. for me, and it's 8 a.m. for him, for the bar. So, yes, it's not particularly early in the day.
Nope.
Or maybe it is, but too early. Now I'm like that guy from Daria. It's too late, or maybe it's too early. I don't know. He still had not decided on a name for his band.
Nope.
Okay. Fluttershy. Oh, sorry, I almost said her name right.
Litterby.
Oystershy looked around.
You mean felt a pag?
Oh my god, I was rereading the previous... Ah!
You're about to get pissed off at water again.
Alright, so, Oyster Clay felt a pang of nostalgia looking at the doll. It was a very similar doll to the one she had as a child. However, the one she owned wasn't so riddled with stitches or aged so badly. It was sitting in a storage box in her house, waiting for the day she'd pass it down to a little filly or colt of her own one day. Rainbow Dash better be working on that.
Yeah, she better grow a penis.
No, maybe they can use magic to impregnate ponies. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. We had one fanfiction that said, true ponies love each other so much, a baby magically appears.
Yes, that's the winning verse for you. And it only works on mares, apparently. Which is unfair for the males, but...
Yeah.
Next to the doll was an opened and messy sewing box. Spools of thread and needles were scattered around it, as if someone had dropped the case in a hurry and left it there. She figured it must have been the case used to help us sew the doll back together. I almost went a little bit Christopher Walken on that last sentence. She figured it must have been the case used to help sew the doll back to back together. She turned from the doll and kept looking around further before noticing something glint on the ground. She carefully walked over to it, noticing a key on the ground. She leaned it closer, noticing that the key had the shape of a doll on the end of it. Okay, enough with that.
Yeah.
Enough with that.
Oh, this must be the key to that door.
Oh! Okay then. Captain Obvious Shy smiled before picking it up and placing it in her bag, and now she... Okay, not only words, but entire sentences are being repeated ad nauseam.
Yeah, I feel like I'm getting a bit of deja vu with the words used here.
Now she could hopefully leave this house and start looking for her friends. Her ears perked up as
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs.
Here we go. Her ears perked up as she heard a strange noise far off in the distance. It sounded as if a siren was going off.
Oh.
Finally, about bloody time, warning the town about something. The sound sent a chill up her back, but she couldn't explain why. Something was off-putting about the sound of the siren. The sound of the siren, the siren of the sound sounding like a siren.
Yes.
She felt like she had to get out of the basement right away. She turned herself around and began to quickly walk back up to the stairs. What was that?
What happened to you? Are you okay?
It's as if I was catching up a breath while I was also swallowing. It's what happened?
Jeez, I thought something happened to you. Like thought something happened to you then.
That was amazing. Only on Dramatis Lectio. Up the stairs she had just come down from. But something seemed off. She couldn't tell what it was right away, but something about the stairs seemed different from when she had just walked down them. The smell of mildew was stronger. The steps seemed more sleek than they had when she was coming down. The sound of dripping water grew louder. It almost felt like water was coming from everywhere.
Water everywhere. It's Water World.
No, it's Titanic at this point.
Oh,
Her ears perked up, as in, no, actually, not Titanic, it's Titanic in this case.
yeah, Titanic.
Titanic. The boogiest of beat-em-ups. Her ears perked up again of what sounded like a rushing water. She turned to light up the stairs behind her, hearing the sound from below her. Again with bellow!
Okay, I can understand if you do it once, but twice.
Her eyes widened as she saw that water was rapidly beginning to fill. No way! What you thought was water, sounded like water, actually turned out to be water. No way! White froth from the bubbles raged at the surface of the rising water as it filled the stairs.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. Not only is Fluttershy wearing the scientist's coat, but she's also wearing Sherlock Holmes' hat.
What, one on top the other?
Yes, she's wearing both.
Okay, now actually this reminds me of that classic Looney Tunes cartoon in which Elmer Fudd and Bugs Bunny get a series of hats on their head and they start acting on the personalities or the characteristics that those particular type of hats entailed.
Yes, I actually remember that episode as well.
I really loved that episode as a child.
I really thought it was funny as well.
Without wasting a second longer, Fluttershy turned on her hooves and began to run. Titanic! To run. Panic coursing through her body, pushing her to run as fast as she could. Each of the steps before her were coated with water, almost causing her to sleep with each rushed step she took. She could hear it quickly filling up behind her. I told you water was an important element in this.
Yep.
Drawing closer as she ran. If she didn't get back to the top of the stairs, she was going to drown. No!
You don't say.
No!
I would have thought she would have died of I don't know, a knife to the face.
Careful, Fluttershy. If you get killed, you die.
People die when they are killed.
Yes, that's the reference.
I know, but I couldn't help it. But quoted.
Her front hoof slipped, sending her face into the stairs.
Oh, my face.
She yelped in pain, but quickly stood back up, trying to shrug the pain off. Her back hoof touched the swelling water as she burst into full panic, her legs stretching out and forcing herself to climb the stairs faster than she ever thought it would be possible for her to do.
I should be out of here by now. The stairs went this long. I should be back in the room by now.
Her mind's... What? You're not beginning this sentence with Fluttershy said, or Fluttershy did? Or Fluttershy carefully did something? No, he's actually using a pronoun for a change.
Oh my gosh.
Imagine that. Her mind screamed as she ran. Oh, the 5 people inside her head are not having a good time.
Nope.
Her chest was yelling at her. Wait, what?
Her chest was yelling at her?
Her chest was yelling at her. Okay. Nice metaphor, I guess.
It is I believe it is a metaphor, but
I hope it's a metaphor. Screaming that it was being put under too much strain. Oh, come on, you're not King Graham. You're young. You can take it. Graham can have a heart attack by simply throwing a hat.
yeah, and just thinking, oh, I can have a heart attack now. I do not have to be in this game anymore.
Her face ached with a dull thud. She pushed all that to the side. To the B-side.
you could have said a side, not the side.
You could have said all her might, too. I would have accepted that. Trying to make it an afterthought. She couldn't die here. Not drowning in some staircase when she needed to find her friends.
Yeah, one of your friends is more than a friend.
Hint, hint, wink, wink.
Nudge, nudge.
Okay.
Say no
more.
Enough.
We did it already, many times. The water began to splash against her back hooves. How many times has this happened already?
How many times? I'm trying to think if she's gone back in time to this moment.
Drawing closer still, she panted heavily as her body was struggling to stay away. To stay away? What? Her body was struggling to stay away from her? Look, that's how it sounds like.
I was trying to make sense of this. That's why I was quiet for a bit.
Oh, stay away from the water. That's what it means. But ironically, it's the way it was phrased. It seemed like it meant something else. Anyway, the stairwell suddenly made a sharp turn into a large opening. The stone steps being replaced with a metal fire escape, circling around a large open shaft that reached into the sky like a drill. Shutter Island Fly couldn't see where it opened up at, but she wasn't about to stop. She began to run up the metal stairwell, having to turn every few feet to go up the square spiraled staircase. Stairs!
And here I thought it was going to say the squared circle staircase.
Oh, stairs in general are our mortal enemies, apparently.
Yes.
The water was swelling up even faster now. Her hooves were doing their best, but she could tell that she wasn't going to be fast enough. Her heart leapt out of her chest and into her throat, Jesus, as breathing became hard from her forced exertion. You know, you need to get back into shape, Fluttershy. You and Rainbow Dash need to get it on more often, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, you need to go out jogging and do some push-ups together.
Yes, that's exactly what I meant to say. No innuendo whatsoever.
Exactly.
We are
adults here, after all.
Yes, we are totally adults that are reading a freaking pony fan fiction.
Yes.
Not even a good one at that. So,
by the way, I told one of my friends I was reading this, and he said, it sounds retarded, what we're reading.
Well, yes, it does. But honestly, the first story was kind of cool.
Yes, it was.
Mistakes aside.
Anyway, let's carry on.
Anyway, so, rethinking my entire life, Shy... took in one last final gasp of breath before the water rushed past her head, finally submerging her. She flailed. Why would you tell your friend you're reading something like this? Do you want him not to be your friend anymore?
I don't care. Yeah, if my friend doesn't want to be my friend anymore, then it's his problem, not mine.
Mm.
Yo.
Water.
Yes, water. You're drowning, Fluttershy! No, Madhog, don't do it!
Water for my water.
You're drowning, Fluttershy, Madhog.
I said that already.
I know.
So anyway, prepare to giggle like an idiot, Davar, because she flailed her hooves in the water. Splashy, splashy, splashy. Splishy, splashy, splishy, splashy.
Seriously, anytime anyone uses the word flail, I can't help but think of those cartoons where they're just throwing their hands everywhere.
Yeah. Or Stan.
Yes.
Trying to reach the surface. She was panicking. The water... sorry, Morty. That would escape from me, Morty. Anyway. You gotta get on with this, Morty. She was panicking. The water current was pushing her body as she was having difficulty orientating herself to follow the direction of the rising water. She put everything she could. What, not all her might?
Yeah, that's disappointed.
That's disappointing. She put everything she could into swimming upwards, but her body was feeling a strain. Her light had gone out when submerged in the water, and she was quickly getting disorientated. Unable to tell which direction was the right one. You know, you can also say disoriented.
Yes. Okay.
The water... Yeah, again. The water, again, swirled around her. It clothed her body and mind. She could barely think. The world was quickly being lost to her.
Same as me and Madhog, I'm guessing.
Her burning lungs forced her mouth open, the air escaping from her lungs, wanting to be replaced with fresh oxygen. But only water was awaiting...
Count as an assault by water.
She was fading and she could feel it. She wouldn't be in this world for much longer.
Steve.
Yes, there are 3 points. There were ellipses. So yes, it's a triplet of Steves.
Okay, we have a flashback.
Okay, Davar, for the love of God, please take over on the flashback.
Okay. Alright,
Come on in. The water's fine.
Fluttershy smiled happily as she gently floated around the quiet lake.
Lake.
Oh, it's Rainbow Dash talking. Sorry about that. Looking at Rainbow Dash, who seemed to be hesitant about entering the water.
Oh, it was actually.
Oh, so I was right.
Okay, so you're double confused then.
Yes, I thought Rainbow Dash was talking at first.
Sure. I'll be right there. 10 seconds flat.
Rainbow forced a smile to her face as she slowly...
Face.
As she slowly began to put... I will not do that, by the way. There's too much to do that to. Began to put her hoof into the water. She slowly began to walk into the water, though she didn't tread too far. I'm getting sick of water now.
Now I'm starting to drink my own piss at this rate. So much sick of water I am.
She didn't tread too far. She kept herself about a half a leg's length above the water.
Oh! Okay, they should rename this a Silent Waterville. Jesus.
Do you not feel like swimming? Because we could do something else, if that's what you want to do.
Fluttershy said, slowly swimming next to Rainbow Dash, looking a little worried.
Oh, it's not that, it's just...
Rainbow looked away, as if embarrassed.
I can swim, but I'm not very good at it.
That makes sense, considering she's a flyer, so... But then again, I call Volcrud since she can jump in a lake full of water before.
You don't know how deep that lake was.
Yeah.
Oh, is that all? Well, I could teach you how to swim better.
Yay!
Fluttershy said, smiling comfortably as she swam up next to Rainbow Dash before standing up in the shallows. By the way, can I say that I'm weirded out that it's not the other way around. It's not Rainbow Dash training Fluttershy for once.
Well, you have to balance things out.
I know, but it's just so weird because the show usually has it the other way around.
Oh, I like that, for a change.
Yes, I do as well.
Also, Fluttershy has become a little bit more assertive and self-assured over the years.
Yeah, true.
Well, Pony Fluttershy, not so much human Fluttershy, but that's...
Yeah, let's carry on. I believe this is rainbows.
Well, I've never really been much about practicing. I've never really been much on practicing my swimming. After all, I've always been a fast flyer by nature. The thing that we are swimming in right now it begins with a W.
That's what took you so long. You didn't want to say the W word.
I said, it feels like the past hour and a half I've been saying nothing but water, door,
Page, book,
book, page, and some more water.
and pie.
And pie. Water just seems slower in comparison. It's too heavy to get a good momentum.
If you do the technique right.
Yeah, wings don't work like that.
No.
Your feathers will be completely bloated with water, will absorb water, and they will only allow you to sink faster.
Yeah,
At least that's my avian knowledge.
that's my knowledge as well.
Anyway, where was I? Really? There's a way to do that?
No.
There isn't, but who cares? Magic. Let's go with that.
Yes, magic wings. Rainbow said rather.
Well, if you think about it, they are literally magic wings. I mean, without the inherent magic within their bodies, Pegasi wouldn't even be able to fly.
Oh yeah, true, but still.
Still, it sounds ridiculous. So
Oh,
anyway.
I know. Water-resistant feathers. There, I answered it for everybody.
Of course, though it takes a lot of practice to get right. There are a lot of subtle movements, and you've got to position your body correctly so the water will drag less as you swim. But it's possible.
If you say so, you're the expert in swimming, apparently.
And this is to be the first time Rainbow Dash realized that she liked Fluttershy's talk about water.
Yeah.
Fluttershy smiled proudly, feeling good about knowing something Dash was interested in that she didn't know about yet.
You have to show me. I could incorporate swimming into my tricks if what you say is true.
Okay, guys, look at the breaststroke.
Look at my frog style while I swim in air or
And-
something.
And here's the coup de grace, the starfish.
Look at me, I'm a dolphin. I'm swimming in the clouds.
Okay. Rainbow grinned eagerly.
Of course I'll show you.
Fluttershy giggled softly before moving back into the deeper waters.
It's a plural this time.
Now watch carefully.
She spread her wings in the water as she prepared to show off to Dash for the first time.
Right, so I get it. So I thought water was a symbol of anxiety, but in this context, water is actually a symbol of the bonding between her and Rainbow Dash specifically, which turns into an obstacle to overcome. Honestly, in the scene that we had in the previous chapter with the mannequin, which is a representation of her abuse, kicking on her,
Yeah.
and she basically splashing in the water while she was being kicked down, I thought it would have been something related to the anxiety and the fear coming from the abuse, the abuse that is exemplified by the impending sense of drowning that you get from the water. Then I realized I was actually outsmarting the story itself. The point. So, never mind.
Just like I would sometimes.
Anyway,
Okay.
Swimmer Shy's eyes shot open in the dark things, and she spread her wings out. Her hoops flailed around for a moment before catching the railing on the metal staircase. She
Ow.
put her hind legs on the rail as her wings adjusted, buttered by the current. But she could do this. Good, you can do this, Fluttershy.
You can do it.
Technically you can't, but okay, you can do this. She kicked off with her back legs as she moved her hooves forward, flattening her body as she began to move rapidly in the water. Her wings bent and moved as they very carefully moved.
Moved? But you repeated the word moved. You didn't need to do this.
Not even 5 words apart.
Oh gosh.
This is getting worse. As they carefully moved with the rushing thing that begins with a W.
Yes.
Moving the liquid around her wings to give her forward movement.
I think you mean momentum, but okay.
Sure, whatever. She could feel the water rushing all around her, trying to drag her back down.
I'm calling it. By the end of this fanfiction, Madhog will be allergic to the word.
Oh, I'm already allergic to it. She began to flap her wings precisely, scooping Achoo! And pushing against it. Thrusting herself forward as she slipped. Seriously, you have no idea how many times that word has been repeated in the course of this chapter. It's ridiculous!
I know.
It's completely ridiculous!
I've never seen so much water.
There is less water in the freaking Titanic!
Oh gosh.
Thrusting herself forward as she slipped gracefully through the... Achoo! Her mind and body reeled and ached and screamed and tried to tear her apart, looking for relief from her pain, from the inferno in her chest. Inferno in her chest.
That's quite a nice way of putting it.
I don't like it.
A bit much, but it's good.
From the wounds telling her she had to stop. Nothing could make her stop, though. Nothing, I tell you.
Can't stop the Fluttershy.
Can't stop the rock. She gritted her teeth. She narrowed her eyes. She did all those things. She flapped her wings with every last ounce of strength. What?
What?
Again?
Not with all her might?
Again, that's, why is that the only thing you're not repeating ad nauseum? That's the strength she could muster as she swam up through the dark abyss, needing an exit. President George W. Shai needs an exit strategy from that mess in Iraq.
I can't help but think this author is the guy who's acting as narrator on a stage. You know, those guys with the books who, like, you know, ham it up. Which is me.
Yeah. This is reminding me of prosciutto for some reason.
Ugh.
A dim light filled the edge of her vision as she spread her wings far, grabbing as much water. I'm done. Goodbye.
No, come back.
You keep reading. I'm done.
No, come back here. Hey, Madhog. Come back here. You cannot be serious. Seriously? Alright then. I guess I'll have to continue. Grabbing as much water as she could and powering them down to thrust her to the edge of the light. The loud gasp echoed amongst the sound of splashing water as her head surfaced from the water. She coughed and gasped, hacking and wheezing as she scrambled for an edge to the water. Grabbing hold of a floor, she threw both hoofs on the ground, holding her up as her lungs accepted the sweet release of air. Oh, you're back.
That's good.
Don't tell me you brought food with you.
That's delicious.
Did you bring a pie?
An apple pie. That's good.
I take the apple pie off you and throw it in your face.
Actually, to be honest, I don't have any food here. I'm just simulating.
Okay.
Just so you know, I am not quite yet at that level, but it's close. So, where are you? Because I completely lost it.
I just read, like, a couple of paragraphs. Her head was throbbing like mad.
Oh, okay. Her head was throbbing like mad. Her body felt like it had opened
He had been
torn apart, and every muscle in her body was telling her she was lucky to be alive.
You were lucky that you ignored your body.
She coughed up water that had entered her lungs. She grimaced unpleasantly at the pain. As the pain became more and more apparent to her, her echoing pants... her echoing pants!
As in...
Her echoing pantaloons!
Yes, as in her echoing trousers.
Her echoing pantaloons!
I know what the author means, but... but quite frankly...
The echoing pants. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Goodness, this is amazing.
This is the dumbest. There had to be a better way to say that.
Her pants were like echoing, "Damn, pony girl."
Oh my god.
I'm sorry, folks. I just channeled Aaron then for a moment. Okay, her echoing pants, man.
So, her echoing overalls bounced back into her ears. They were very large overalls, I'd say. Making her realize just how lucky she truly was. Again, we went through that already.
Yes.
For a moment, she had accepted death as an inevitability, that she would have had no choice but to die in that cold, fingy hell.
Well, at least there's an R and Y in it.
Okay, 3 Steves, and then... Oh god. Guess what was called, Devar?
Oh, I don't know. A stone?
No. Okay, I'll give you a hint. It begins with a W, and it ends with utter.
Walter!
Yes, okay, the Walter was called. Sure, why not? She hadn't noticed in her panic, but she could feel herself. Okay, in between this and echoing pants. This is turning out to be the funniest thing ever. But she could feel herself shivering as she floated in the now calm
Walter.
Titanic. Titanic. She groaned as she pulled herself up, using any strength left to escape.
The Walter.
Oh! She managed to drag her legs out of the Walter before slowly pulling her tail out as well. She lay on the floor, panting. Now it's a correct verb.
Yes.
Drenched in the cold... Breathing heavily as everything ached. She felt her eyelids slowly closing, wanting to drift off into sleep to calm down.
No!
Her mind snapped at her like this.
Like chopsticks being snapped.
No, like that song from West Side Story.
Ah.
Her eyes back open. Like that.
Yeah.
Fluttershy. You just drowned.
Oh,
Who's saying that?
I'm trying to figure this out myself. Is it herself?
Fluttershy, you just almost drowned. Not to mention you've drenched in the freezing water. If you go to sleep without anyone around, any pony around, you may never wake up again. The oxygen deprivation may put you into a coma, and sleeping this cold could result in hypothermia. You cannot go to sleep right now.
Paging Dr. Smarty Pants Fly. Paging Dr. Smarty Pants Fly. She trousered. She panted.
We can't let this go.
No, she trousered. She could feel the onset of her panic returning. Her medical training was coming back to her now.
You mean
it was
veterinarian training, most likely?
still medical training. It was fine before when it was just some lacerations and bruising, but this was much more serious.
Serious Sam!
Serious Sam Shy couldn't go to sleep. She had just saved her life, and she couldn't let it slip away from her so easily.
Shy I am.
Right. She tried to stand up, get back to her hoops. Her legs shook tremendously. She could barely put any weight on them before they slipped from under hoof. She felt her heart rate accelerating.
Good. Stay awake. Panic might just be my friend right now.
She grunted as she did her best to stand. She had to get up. She had to start walking. Okay?
Yes.
With the last of her strength, she found her legs and was standing.
So she found her legs. That's good. So she picked them off the floor.
I didn't know they were lost. Her legs were shaking like mad, but she was standing. Again, we know that. She very carefully began to shake her whole body. Shake your body moment.
Yeah, we did that joke last time.
Yes, we did indeed. Titanic. I'm going insane here.
I think everyone is.
Harder than her body's natural shaking. The liquid on her coat scattered as best as she could muster. There was no way she could get it all with her being so tired, though. She tried to look around for something to support her, but the light was too dim to see anything. She looked back at the lantern that was still pressed smartly against her chest. You're so clever, Fluttershy.
Yes, you're so clever.
She needed the warmth of the flame right now. She clicked at the lantern, flipping the switch several times. She prayed that despite the waterlogging, that it would still work for her. How would that even work after that?
I would
Seriously.
not.
By some miracle, the flame appeared once more. With the oil and the wick were still usable. Yeah, somehow.
Yes, let's just say somehow. For some strange reasons.
I call shenanigans, but okay.
I call magic reasons.
Her head was groggy, shaky, as the world seemed to spin around her, but she did her best to get a look at the world. She was in a small square room with a doorway open to what seemed to be a lobby outside. A large square hole was in the middle of the current room, filled with the
thing he doesn't like, that she escaped from.
She had just escaped from. She carefully began to walk out of the room with the cold into the lobby. Every step made her body shudder and cry. That's her name from now on, Shudder Cry.
Shudder Cry.
Perfect. The story is doing it for me.
Yay!
Putting her on the verge of collapsing with each step. She needed towels to dry off. She needed to wrap up in something warm. She needed to put some food and drink in her. She carefully walked towards a desk she saw in front of her. There were 3 things on top of it that she instantly took notice of.
Was it a pie?
No, the first was a map of where she was. It read Cloudsdale Hospital in bold letters before showing the layout of the 2-story building.
Cloudsdale Hospital?
She stammered out loud unintentionally. She could hear the frailty in her voice, but she had spoken anyway. This hospital was where her father had worked, the best doctor in all of Cloudsdale. He had saved more lives than most other doctors had combined. Okay, the way it was phrased and the way I read it, The analogy here is that he saved more life than more doctors had fused together. Which is a weird statistic, but okay.
DBZ logic in hospitals?
What is the practical use?
Fusion! Our combined knowledge will save this man!
It was thanks to him that she had learned all the medical knowledge that she had for taking care of animals and other sick ponies. When did she ever... If she was in a hospital, she was sure she could find all the supplies she'd need to take care of herself.
Oh yeah, all that morphine. Oh. I'm done.
Thank you. Fluttershy quickly took note of where the patient rooms were. She'd have to come back to pick up the map. Her bag would suck them up and ruin its use for her at the moment. The next thing she saw on the desk was a bottle labeled elf drink. I was wondering when we would see the first elf drink.
Yes, I was wondering if we would get one of those.
We did, of course we did. She remembered them from her visits to the... Wait, they are an actual thing?
Really?
Outside of this world?
No. I'm not going to accept this.
Unless it's like the healing potions from Fallout Equestria. Yeah! I get to reference that again.
I want to throw you out the window right now.
Good luck with that. Seriously, I'm like twice your size, judging by how much you weigh, so good luck with that. I'm cheering for you. She remembered them from her visits to the hospital. They were a special type of medicine that helped relax and heal the body. So it is like the magic healing potions.
Yeah.
Then. She needed that right now.
Must drink!
She carefully unscrewed the top of the drink.
No rush there, Fluttershy.
Before pouring the contents into her mouth, she chugged the whole bottle hungrily. The mixture tasting a bit like bitter, that's a mouthful, a bit like bitter strawberries, but felt soothing going down the throat. She finished the drink and gave it a moment to sink in. Almost instantly, she felt some of her exhaustion begin to wane. The pain that had been screaming at her began to fade, growing numb. Her eyesight straightened more, and her mind lost some of the foggy haze she had been floating around in it. That had been floating around.
Okay.
She could tell the drink had a painkiller-like effect to it. She wasn't truly feeling better just yet. It's a bit too late to try and justify that, but it was alleviating the pain so that she could feel better.
Must get max painkillers.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help that because...
Actually, you meant to say Max Payne's painkillers.
No, I actually meant it that way because that's my joke about them.
So they kill specifically a guy named Max Payne.
Yes.
Oh, man. It was now, with her head feeling clearer, that she was able to get a look at the lobby for the first time. The walls were falling apart from H. Steel was growing some kind of mold. The walls were falling apart from H. Mold. Again, mold. I hope mold does not become the new water in this scenario.
Please don't.
And being sucked with... Oh, no!
The revenge of the water.
Sucked with it. Again! The roof was caving in many places. In repeated twice, by the way. The waiting chairs and tables were falling apart in pieces and torn into shreds. There were overturned wheelchairs and gurneys. Some spots on the floor had blood stains on them. The whole room seemed to scream that it was nothing but a vile place. All right. Clusterfly turned her attention away. She didn't want to focus on the state of the room. She had to attend to her body's needs first. But before she left, she read the last thing of notice on the lobby's desk. A note that looked like it was written hastily in a red pen. I locked it away. It can't hurt us anymore. The staring, oh Luna, the staring. They erected it, but it won't go away. It's judging us. It knows, but it can't hurt us without it. I locked it away. But should I need it, I have this code. HIDE. Hide.
Red.
Which is colored in red.
Which is weird that the rest of it wasn't coloured in red too, but obviously he wants to, make that stand out more.
Oh, thank goodness the chapter is almost over. Come on,
please, come on, end this, Madhog.
Final stretch.
Only you can do this, man.
Apparently.
We believe in you.
Okay. The note didn't make any sense to her, as the...
At the moment.
Okay, let me restart. Fluttershy snapped awake when a loud explosion rocked the house.
No! Get back to the end.
From the beginning of the chapter, let me restart.
No! Get back here.
Okay. The note didn't make any sense to her at the moment, but she felt it must be important. She'd come back for it as well. She stepped away from the counter, taking in her new vigor to move past it, and through the double doors behind it, she appeared in a hallway, one she was familiar with from her childhood, though the place had aged into despair.
I think you mean disrepair.
I think you meant to say disrepair, yes. She still recognized it. She quickly made it over to the first room she could find and pushed it open. Inside was an examination room, though the cabinets were falling apart and the table looked like it had fallen to disuse. It was still an examination room. Okay, now that we established that...
Yes.
Watershy... This was a long time coming. Watershy carefully removed her saddlebag from her bag and placed it on the table before moving to the browsing counter.
Broken counters, not brosen.
The browsing counters, oh my god. Okay, let me start from the beginning.
No!
Fluttershy snapped awake when a loud explosion rocked the house.
No!
Okay. She found... Imagine if we instilled this rule in which we had to start over every time we misspelled a word.
Oh, that would be awful for a challenge.
Yes. It would, wouldn't it? Maybe with a really short chapter we could do that, but...
No.
She found various supplies, fresh bandages, a few more health drinks, towels and gauge pads, everything she'd need to get herself feeling back to her top form. As she began to work delicately on drying herself and applying fresh bandages, she didn't notice the soft hissing that began to emanate from the music box in her bag. Can I say this so far is the most boring chapter in all of the Silent Ponyville's stories so far?
Yes, I'm gonna second that.
Mean, all she literally does, is try not to drown in a form of liquid that shall not be named.
Yes.
That seems like a huge waste of a chapter, if you ask me.
Yes, there was no enemies or anything.
Not to mention all the repetition. Not to mention all the repetition. Not to mention all the repetition.
Oh, the repetition.
Oh,
that made it worse.
This chapter really did get to me. Lucky for us, we had Echo in pants, but not even that could save us from the atrocity that was reading this chapter.
Echo Pants, thank you for trying to save us, but...
It was all for naught.
It was all for nothing. It was all in vain. Let's just end this.
Let's just end it awkwardly like this. See you for the next chapter, folks.
Yes. And remember, rock those echoing pants!
Yes. Let's all get inside our trousers and dance in the water.
Dancing, yeah!
Yeah. Good night,
Good
everybody.
night, buddy, and take care.
Freaking water, man.